Right now we're going to welcome in Joe Farrow, 2004 graduate of Holy Spirit, former captain of the Spartans football team. Going to talk about Walshy's Warriors. Good morning, Joe.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's happening, bud?
Nothing much, buddy. Just hanging on out in the nice, beautiful day today. Nice and cool.
Glad you're awake this early?
Oh, absolutely.
So tell us more about the Walshy's Warriors flag football tournament. I know it's been going on a couple of years now, and you have a bit of a new format this year. And before we get started with that, what's going to make you more famous, being on this show or being on Cruising with Zach?
Well, listen, see, that's I said I was going to do this, but Zach called me. He said, "Don't do it. Don't go on there." He said, "Listen, I'm trying to outdo him over there, and you're messing me up." I said, "Zach, I'm sorry. I just got to get this out," and he got all upset over it. But I told him, "Sorry, I got to do it." But yeah, man, listen. So for the last 2 years, we've been doing this, and when this all happened a few years back, I was trying to figure out a way that we can really come together and help him out with obviously the fundraising, things of that nature. And this flag football is, like, honestly one of his favorite events. Like, he absolutely loves it. He loves watching these old alumni come out, and he loves them playing. And very excited this year because, again, we are going to actually retire his jersey this year. And it should be a very big occasion when it comes to it. And we actually changed the format with the time frame, so it's going to be actually 5:30 p.m. This year. And a lot of guys like that, too, because it's going to be under the lights. It's going to bring back some memories for some of these alums, and we're going to pop those lights on as it gets a little deeper into the night realm, you know what I mean? So we're all very excited. A lot of alumni reached out to me, and obviously we're all coming around. We're going to show them that we're all standing with them. We're fighting with them,
So take me through the night. What's planned? I guess there's kind of a big ceremony to start at 5:30, and then you're going to start playing at 6. So what's going on pre-tournament?
For the ceremony you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 5:30 p.m., obviously, all the alums, captains, ex-captains, and all that, they're going to be there. They're going to have the bagpipes playing. They're all going to come out to the middle of the center field, have it all set up. His wife, his daughter, is going to be out there. We're going to have a few words, have a big ceremony about it, explain who this man is and why we're doing this. And, not to get misconstrued here, we're not retiring his jersey because of the situation. We're retiring the jersey because who the guy is. You're talking about a player on and off the field. You're talking about the impact that he had in so many people's lives. You can have there's a million players everywhere, and there's great players everywhere, but legends make impact. And this guy, even in the situation that he is right now, the impact that he's still making with people and still teaching people, it's just amazing. And truly, I just don't find anybody that can fill his shoes. Therefore, the community agrees that his jersey just needs to be retired. There's nobody that can wear that and fulfill what he has done in his lifetime of being a player on and off the field and where he is at now. So very excited for that. And after that ceremony, then we're going to hit those games. We're going to kick it right off, and we're going to go right into it.
If you're just joining us, welcome to the South Jersey Sports Report. Thanks for spending part of your Saturday morning with us. We're talking with Joe Farrow. He's a 2004 graduate from Holy Spirit, offensive lineman, defensive end, talking about Walshy's Warriors. And, Joe, for those out there listening today who don't really know Bill Walsh, they probably know the name if they're any kind of high school football fan. But take us back to when you were a player under him as a head coach, and tell us what Coach Walsh is like on the field on a day-to-day basis, what he meant to so many guys, why so many guys come back for this kind of event because of his name.
I'm really glad you asked that, because this is the really unique thing about the guy. Most of the time you have coaches that coach football, and honestly, they're those rah-rah guys, and everybody knows who they are or whatever. He was so unique because he took the sport, and what he would do with that sport is he would teach every individual aspects of life with the sport. And it was such an impact growing up in that people just came back, and he created this family, element that came from the sport that people just wanted to keep coming back. There's guys that I don't see for 8 years or whatever, but yet I'll see them tomorrow. We'll just run into each other and we start right where we left off, because that's just how he taught it. It's a beautiful thing how he had that sport with these kids and how he helped kids with it. It's almost like he taught you a method of life and how to live it and make sure that you hard work and all that other stuff comes with it. I'm telling you, man, he's a real unique guy, and the way he just coached was just a different type of world for these kids, and a lot of them use those methods in their life, including myself. I use every method that he taught me in that sport, and I became a better person for it, a better father, better human. I'm going to teach my kids the same way he taught me. Now he does it through the sport. So he was just I'll tell you, man, he's just a unique guy, and I feel like that no matter who crosses his path, everybody has a memory of him with something. Even if you met him for one day, he just has that impact, the way that he talks to you and he means it and everything else,
He strikes me, Joe, as the kind of guy that if you're a high school football player and whatever, maybe you happen to show up on a Sunday morning, toss the ball around with your dad or something like that, you wouldn't be surprised to see Bill Walsh hanging around the weight room or something like that.
No, he never left that weight room. He loved it. That was his second home. But yeah, that's exactly the type of guy he was. His dedication for that was just amazing. And everybody has their lives that they have to do, but he just dedicates so much to others, and help others out. That it's truly just something that you don't see every day. And you can't meet a guy like Bill Walsh everywhere. You know what I mean? He's a unique type of guy that you meet him, you're going to remember him. I mean, that's just how it is.
We're talking with Joe Farrow, 2004 Holy Spirit graduate, and one of the guys helped organizing the Walshy's Warriors flag football tournament. And Joe, what was your reaction when you heard, I guess it's been a couple of years now, that Coach Walsh was diagnosed with ALS, obviously a very debilitating disease. He's been through a lot the last couple of years. He's got the hyperbolic chamber in his house, doing so much to try to fight this disease. What was your initial reaction when you heard that? I mean, it's such devastating news for the whole Holy Spirit family.
Yeah, when he told me, it's like you had this sense of urgency, you know what I mean? Because I think everybody did. I don't want to say I was the only one, but I think when everybody heard it, it wasn't so much like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. It's almost like you had this urgency that you wish you could do something right away. You know what I mean? You just wanted to take it away from him. It's not fair. It's not right. And unfortunately, this is a fight that he's in, that he's fighting, and you can't just go in there and take it away. But all we can do is hold him up. But I'll tell you what, I think the disease picked the wrong one because he's a crazy son of a, you know what I mean? And
yep.
I think he's the one. If anybody could beat this thing, I think he's the one that could do it. And I truly believe that. Everybody in this community really truly believes that. I don't think anybody's doing memorials here. Everybody's saying that he's got this, and we're going to hold him up and keep him fighting. But hey, of course you're sad. For instance, you're sad because you want this. You don't want that to happen. But I feel like the sense that I had was just so much urgency that, okay, we got to do something today. I mean, this is a guy, like I said, who doesn't want any help at all. He's one of those guys that wants the help. He doesn't want your help. You know what I mean? And I told him that, when we started the stuff, with the fundraisers, because, he's not a guy that wants that. He's a guy that's like, I got this, I could do it. But I told him, I said, listen, man, we can't sit around and do nothing. It's impossible. We're coming to fighting with you, buddy. You're not by yourself. So I think everybody in this community has actually, adapted to that. Everybody wants to join in, and they want to help them, and they want to hold them up and make sure we do everything we possibly can to beat this thing and not let it win,
And tell the listeners out there, Joe, why it's so important to keep raising money. I mean, this is a family that's going through a lot. Obviously, Kelly is there at the school as a junior. And just the mounting expenses that come along with something like this, trying to fight this disease, it's got to be a lot on the family. And, Sidney and Kelly and Bill, they're not going to ever be the ones to reach out and ask for help. So it kind of takes the community to rally around them. And
100% right.
Tell us more about why it's so important to continue to raise money for this family and help them out.
Well, the thing is, obviously, there's nothing really set in stone out there that people jump on when they have this disease. So unfortunately, you have to try, I'd say it's 1,000 different things. And those thousands of different things, they cost a lot of money. So, I mean, just his day-to-day basis when he gets up, the fight starts as soon as he wakes up. And he has to do 5, 6 things a day that take hours a day just to function. You know what I mean? So like all those things that he's doing just to function right now cost money. So, again, he's no beggar. He doesn't want it, but we're going to do everything we can to help him. And it's costly. It is. And so even a lot of insurances, when you come into trials and you start trying things and everything else, they don't take it. So you just have to come up front with it. And that's why it's just very important. And then, you're talking now his family and his daughter. Absolutely. She's a Holy Spirit. She's a 17-year-old. We got to make sure that they're taken care of as well while he's fighting. The last thing we need is any more unnecessary stress with his family, especially during this fight. So we're trying to make it as comfortable as possible and make sure he wins this thing. And we want him to come out on top.
Joe, tell me a little bit about Sidney Walsh. I mean, how much respect you have for her. I mean, obviously, when you're a high school player, she's the coach's wife, and you don't really maybe you get to know her a little bit from just being around the games and stuff. But how much respect do you have for her for the strength she's shown? I mean, she's there with him side by side every day, helping him out with everything he needs to do, and she's also raising a teenage daughter, which the challenges go along with that as well. She's trying to get Kelly prepared for college, so there's a lot on this woman's plate, and she's done a tremendous job of doing it all with a smile and her typical positive attitude.
100%. I mean, the amount of respect that I think everybody has, and she's a rock too. That's the best thing about her. You know what I mean? She knows if there's a job in front of her, she gets it done. I actually had the opportunity to get so close with them through my high school life and growing up that I know her very well. And if there's something in front of her that she's got to get done, she's got to do it. And nor does she ever sit there and feel sorry for herself. She never sits there and just sits in the corner and says, "Oh my God, I got to stop." She just goes. She goes. You know what I mean? And she's been 110% very on top of everything and helping him with everything that he needs. And she's a remarkable person. I'll put it that way. As a mother and a wife, I admire her and what she's doing. You know what I mean? How she can be so strong during the whole thing, and making sure that her daughter is okay through this whole process. Especially, she has been one of the best I've seen.
To use an old football term, Bill certainly outkicked his coverage on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't get it wrong now, okay? She still runs that house. Don't you get it straight? You make sure you understand that.
Oh yeah,
she's doing great, man. And like I said, I actually have so much respect for her through this whole thing, and admire her as a person and a human being. What she's been doing through this whole thing, and how she's dealing with it. Very strong, very strong. I say that's the Italian in her. That's what I say.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, and everybody sees that in the community as well. So,
Joe, tell our listening audience some information about this event. When is it? How can people get involved?
All right, so the event itself, if you're going to be a player, if you're actually going to play on it, it's going to be June 22nd, Saturday, 5:30 p.m. The ceremony starts. If you're going to be a player, if you go onto the Walshy Warriors flag football page, you're going to see that it's going to have every information that you need as for the players. They can email the flagwarriors@yahoo.com. You email your roster. Once you email me your roster, you're set. If you have to make any changes, add-ons, drops, you can do it at registration. It's no big deal. But I do need the rosters within this week so I can start setting the tournaments up. If you're just come out and support, come on out and support. We're going to have a live band. We're going to have food. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have a dunk tank. Charlie Rowland will be sitting on it. I'm sure a lot of people want to make sure he dunks. Right? Want to make sure. I'm sure they'll be lining up out the door for that one. And it'll be a good, fun time. And everybody's welcome to come out. You don't have to be a Holy Spirit alumni. You could be anybody from every school. I'm actually calling all other schools out of respect for this man. Come on at least at 5:30 and show up, and as we retire his jersey and give him that respect. So 6/22/2019, 5:30 p.m. That's when it will start, and it will be a good time. Good time, good fundraiser for a great cause for a great man.
Joe, real quick before we let you go, give us your favorite all-time Bill Walsh story.
I mean, there's 1,000 of them. All right, so I tell this one a lot. I'm sure the guys are going to know what I'm talking about. So when you're younger, you start as a freshman. What Bill Walsh was known for is his stories. You start out as a freshman, and you used to sit there and you would listen to him. So, for instance, I'm a freshman. I'm sitting there in the huddle. We're sitting there at practice. We're taking knee. He's like, all right, come on, gather around. Everybody gather around. Take a knee. So I was like, so I'd have you all take a knee. And he would tell you these stories. Like, all right, Jimmy Bombino. No legs, one arm. NFL record holder, interceptions. So don't tell me you got problems. There are challenges that they can be conquered. And then you sit there like, oh, my God, Jimmy Bombino had no legs, no arms. He had the interception record. So then you get to your senior year. Vinny Boombots, and he always had an Italian name for some reason. I guess because of his wife. Vinny Boombots, no arms, lead sacks in the NFL. And then as a senior, like, there's no freaking, all right, he's out the line. Like, this is complete horse crap. He's totally making this up. The Pope called. He said, you better beat AC. They're convicts. Like that type of stuff. And you would sit there, like I said, and you look at the freshmen as a senior, like, guys, stop. No, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. You know what I mean? So that was always my funny story. His motivational speeches were great. But then he would have to, like, throw in a little something to get you over the edge. But as a freshman, you sit there, you listen to him, and you're like, oh, my gosh. And then as a senior, kind of like, come on, man. You sure you had no legs and arms? Come on. So that's actually one of my favorites. But I have 1,000 of them, but we'd be on there way too long.
Yeah, good. We got to let you go. We're up against the break, Joe. Appreciate you taking a few minutes, and we'll definitely keep getting the word out about the flag football tournament coming up June 22nd. And thanks for taking a few minutes, man.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You got it. Have a good weekend, Joe.
All right, see.
That was Joe Farrow, 2004 Holy Spirit graduate. He's one of the guys helping to organize the Walshy's Warriors flag football tournament coming up June 22nd. If you want more information on that, go to Facebook and just look up Walshy's Warriors. They have a whole page with all kind of information there.